Hatandiye. When the rain falls. The rain had been falling for 3 hours when Maya finally admitted she was lost. She sat on the cold concrete step outside the all-night diner, her white dress now translucent and clinging to her skin. The neon open sign above cast a warm pink glow that made the raindrops look like falling stars. She should have called an Uber, should have asked someone for directions, should have done 100 things differently. But here she was at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday, watching the city wash itself clean. The sound of a truck engine made her look up. Through the curtain of rain, she saw headlights approaching slowly, cautiously. The vehicle stopped just a few feet away and she heard the driver's door creak open. "You okay out here?" The voice was gentle, concerned. Maya looked up to see a man in his 30s wearing a simple black t-shirt now darkening with raindrops. His work boots splashed in the puddles as he approached, his hands raised slightly to show he meant no harm. Maya started, then stopped. Was she okay? Her phone was dead, her car had broken down 6 blocks away, and she'd been walking in circles for hours. "I'm lost," she said finally, surprised by how small her voice sounded. He nodded as if this made perfect sense. "It's easy to get turned around in the rain. Everything looks different." Maya watched him carefully. There was something steady about him, something that made her shoulders relax for the first time all night. "I was trying to get to Pine Street," she said. "My car died and I thought I could walk, but—" "Pine Street's about 2 miles that way," he said, pointing into the darkness. "Not a great walk in this weather." He paused, seeming to weigh his words. "I'm Jake, by the way." "Maya." "Well, Maya, I can't leave you sitting out here in the rain. My truck's warm and I've got towels in the back from the gym." He extended his hand toward her. "What do you say?" Maya stared at his outstretched hand. Every safety rule she'd ever learned screamed at her not to trust a stranger, especially not at 2 a.m. on an empty street. But something in his eyes, a kindness that seemed genuine, made her pause. "I know how this looks," Jake said, lowering his hand slightly but not withdrawing it completely. "Strange guy, middle of the night, offering rides. But my sister would kill me if I drove past someone who needed help." He smiled and it transformed his whole face. "I promise I'm not a serial killer. I work construction, I volunteer at the animal shelter on weekends, and I make terrible coffee." Despite everything, Maya found herself smiling back. "Terrible coffee?" "The worst. My coworkers bring their own thermoses now." Maya looked at his hand again, then at the empty street stretching in both directions. The rain showed no signs of stopping, and she was already soaked through. Sometimes, she thought, you had to choose between being smart and being human. She reached up and took his hand. His fingers were calloused and warm, and he helped her to her feet with careful gentleness. "Thank you," she said. "Thank you for trusting me," he replied. And Maya realized he understood exactly what her acceptance had cost her. They walked to his truck together, their footsteps splashing in unison. Jake opened the passenger door for her and grabbed a clean towel from behind the seat. "Here," he said, handing it to her. "The heater works great." As Maya settled into the warm cab, she watched Jake round the front of the truck, his shirt now completely soaked. When he climbed in beside her, water dripping from his hair, he looked over with another one of those transforming smiles. "So, Pine Street," he said, starting the engine. "But first, terrible coffee? The diner's still open." Maya looked back at the glowing neon sign, then at Jake, who was already adjusting the heater to blow warm air toward her. Outside, the rain continued to fall, washing the city clean and carrying away the remnants of whatever her day had been before this moment. "You know what?" she said, surprising herself again. "I'd love some terrible coffee." Jake's laugh was warm and genuine. "Now that's what I call an adventure." As they sat in the truck, engine running, heater humming, Maya realized that sometimes the best stories begin when you stop trying to control the ending. Sometimes they begin when you're lost in the rain, and someone kind enough to stop reminds you that not all strangers are dangerous. Some of them are just fellow travelers, equally lost, equally hoping to find their way home. The diner's neon light reflected in the puddles around them, creating a small pool of warmth in the vast, wet darkness. And for the first time in months, Maya felt like she was exactly where she needed to be. Sometimes the storm isn't trying to destroy you. Sometimes it's trying to wash away everything that isn't real, everything that doesn't matter, so you can find what does.